Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wild Voices Online. Thanks for joining us today. We'll give it a couple minutes for everyone to log in. And while we're waiting, I'll put up a poll just for fun of a question you can answer while you're waiting for people to join us. Our question for today is that turtles love to swim. So I'm wondering, where do you like to swim? Lake, river, ocean, or maybe you don't like to swim. That's okay too. All right, I can see people are joining us. Welcome. While we're waiting for people to log in, we're just answering a question for fun. Our question for today is, turtles love to swim. Where do you like to swim? Lake, river, or a creek, any type of moving water, ocean, or maybe you don't like to swim. That's okay too. Okay, welcome for those who have just joined us. Welcome to Wild Voices Online. While we're waiting for people to log in and join us for today, we're just answering a question for fun because our theme of today is going to be turtles. Turtles love to swim. Where do you like to swim? Lake, river, ocean, or maybe you don't like to swim. We'll give it about 30 more seconds and then we're going to get started. And for those of you who have joined us just in the last few moments, what we're doing while we wait for our session to start for today is we're just answering this question here of turtles love to swim. Where do you like to swim? You can go ahead and answer if you haven't already. Okay, I'll give it 10 more seconds from here and then we'll get started for today. We'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see what you said on our question of the day. Lots of people like to swim in lakes. Some people like rivers or creeks too, in the ocean. A couple of people don't like to swim, which is okay too. So we will get started. My name is Christine. I work for the Columbia Basin Environmental Education Network. In May and June, we've been doing some online sessions to come bring our educators to you. We had lots that happened in May. We still have some more coming up in June. You can register for the ones that are coming up at cbeen.ca/wildvoicesonline, and you can watch the recordings of the sessions that already happened. So for how this works, I just want to let you know that you are muted, which means we can't see or hear you. So if you want to ask a question, you can click the little speech bubble at the bottom of your screen. It looks like this. And you can type your question to us. Maybe you hear something interesting that you want to know more about. Anytime you have a question, you can type it in, and we will get to your questions when we have a good moment to pause. Your questions will only be seen by myself and today's presenter. But please remember to be patient with your questions and only ask it once. There's lots of you, and just like in a classroom, we might not be able to answer all of your questions, but we'll do our best to see your questions and ask them when we have a moment to answer them. And we'll try to get to as many as we can, but if we can't get to yours, then that's okay. You can still send it out and ask it. We have a quick question before we get started here of what grade you are in. Just wanting to know what grade you're in, students who are joining us today. Are you in kindergarten, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7? Or maybe you're in grade 8 and up. You can just quickly let us know. Okay, we'll give it just a few more moments to let us know if you haven't already what grade you're in. Okay, I'll give it 5 more seconds from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see what you said. There are students joining us from every grade today. Welcome, everyone. the most from grade 2, but it was pretty close. There's someone from every grade joining us. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so today, Ayla is joining us from Fernie, and she is going to be talking to us about turtles. She has done a lot of awesome preparation, getting us some videos today about turtles out in her area in Fernie, and she has lots of interesting things to tell us. So I'm going to pass it over to Ayla to get started.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. Thanks so much for joining. Just before we get started, I want to express my gratitude and appreciation for being able to live, work, and play on the traditional unceded territory of the Ktunaxa peoples. And when I was asked to do this webinar, because I often do this field trip in person, when I was asked to do this webinar, I was trying to think of a way that we could still see the turtles, because if you've done the field trip before, you might agree that seeing the turtles is the best and the most exciting part. So I decided that the easiest thing to do would be to make a little video. So I went out, I had to get special permission to go to the Kickaman Creek Provincial Park, which is where we usually do this field trip. So I got that permission and I went out there, and it was a beautiful, beautiful sunny day, and there were so many turtles. Very exciting. And yes, this is a turtle here, my little buddy. I saw someone asked. And so I just made this quick video about turtles. And if you have any questions during the video, feel free to type them into the chat box. I see some people already are doing that. That's excellent. If there's any questions that aren't answered in the video, then we can chat about them after. So without further ado, I am going to show you this little video here. Hi there, my name is Ayla Bennett, and I am an environmental educator and turtle lover. Today I am here at Kickaman Creek Provincial Park in southeastern BC. Provincial parks are very important places for many species in BC because both plants and animals are protected here. Today we are going to learn all about turtles, how we can help turtles, and hopefully even see some in the wild. In BC, we only have one species of native turtle, the western painted turtle. Notice the bright red belly that looks painted and the green and yellow striped head. One important fact to learn about the western painted turtle is that they are blue listed in our area, interior BC. Blue listed means that they are vulnerable or at risk. The western painted turtle population is much lower than it has been in the past because of things like road building and loss of important wetland habitat. This map shows the distribution of all the different species of painted turtles throughout North America. As you can see on the map, there are only a few small areas that western painted turtles live in our province. Kickaman Creek Provincial Park is in the Kootenay area of this map, about where you see the black X. Before we go looking for turtles in the wild, let's talk a little about turtles in general. First of all, turtles are vertebrates, just like us. Vertebrate means that they have a backbone or a spine and an inside skeleton. So do you. You can feel your backbone if you put your hand on the back of your neck. All those bumps are called vertebrae, and they make up your spine. There are 5 different groups of animals in the vertebrate class. They include mammals like us and reptiles like turtles, as well as birds, amphibians, and fish. Do you know how long turtles have been on this planet?
Okay, so I think that's actually time for a poll question that we have for you. The question here is, how long have turtles existed on Earth? You can let us know what you think. So how long have turtles existed on Earth? 1,000 years, 30 million years, 220 million years, or 3 billion years? What do you think? Okay, I see lots of answers coming in. People are letting us know what they think of those choices, which one it is, how long turtles have existed on Earth. We'll give it just a few more moments to let us know if you haven't already. Okay, 5 more seconds from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what you said. Okay. Oh, it's pretty close, actually. We're not sure. I wonder, maybe Ayla could let us know. Most people said 220 million years, but it was pretty evenly spread there.
I'm gonna play the video again, and you will have the answer in a minute.
All right.
Turtles have been on Earth for over 220 million years. That's older than most dinosaurs. And as you probably knew, dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago. What could be the secret to a turtle's success? Could it be the turtle's shell? Why do you think a turtle's shell could help it to survive? A turtle's shell provides protection from predators because it is hard, like armor. And some turtles can hide all the way inside their shells. When they're inside their shells and not moving, turtles can look like a rock. Their shell consists of a hard back, which is called a carapace. This is the carapace. The carapace is dark in color. These sections on the carapace are called scutes, and they act like solar panels to soak up energy from the sun. They also help the turtle's shell to grow. This is the front of the turtle's shell, where the head and front legs come out. This section is called the bridge. And this is the back, where you would have the 2 back legs and the tail. The belly or underside of a turtle's shell is called the plastron. On a living western painted turtle, the plastron is brightly colored, which is how these turtles get their name. If you are familiar with a turtle named Franklin, you may have seen him slip out of his shell and pull it around behind him on a rope. Real turtles can't leave their shell because their shell is actually part of their skeleton. Look closely inside this shell, and you can see where the turtle's vertebrae were attached to the inside of the carapace. Now, I'm going to transform into a Western painted turtle right before your eyes. If I'm going to become a turtle, what's the first thing that I need? Of course, a shell. So a Western painted turtle, like other turtles, has a dark colored carapace. I am a boy Western painted turtle, and you can tell by my wide, long tail. Western painted turtles get their name from their beautifully colored plastron. See the reds and yellows and dark greens? What's that? You don't think I look like a turtle quite yet? How's that? Western painted turtles, like other reptiles, have a scaly skin. They have a beak. They don't have any teeth. Their beak is made of keratin. Can you see my beak? Unlike some other reptiles, turtles have eyelids. This means they can use their eyelids like we do to keep their eyeballs moist. They don't have to try to lick them like snakes. Another reason you can tell I'm a boy western painted turtle is because of my long claws. Some people think that this is for fighting, but it's actually not. How do I look? If you go out turtle watching, it's important to remember that turtles are very shy creatures. So we have to talk in very quiet voices, or not at all, and do what I like to call the turtle tiptoe, very quiet feet. Let's learn more about this special reptile while we walk around the lake. When I go turtle watching, I like to bring my binoculars because then I can give the turtles lots of space while still getting a good look. Wow! Look at all those turtles basking on the log. There are even some up on the shore. Turtles need to bask to warm up their bodies. Like other reptiles, turtles are cold-blooded. This is different from us humans, who are warm-blooded. Just like it sounds, warm-blooded animals always have warm blood. Their body temperature stays the same, no matter what the weather is. Cold-blooded animals, though, don't always have cold blood. What it means when an animal is cold-blooded is that their body temperature changes with their environment. Let's take a look at the differences between cold and warm-blooded through the seasons. In the springtime, the temperature is starting to warm up. People start to dress in cooler clothes and may even go outside without a jacket. If we take a human's body temperature in the spring, it will be around 37 degrees Celsius, as long as they are healthy. Turtles come out of hibernation and need to absorb heat from the sun, which is called basking. If we take a turtle's temperature in the spring, it will be cool. The summer can get really hot. We might spend our days playing outside in shorts and t-shirts. If you take a human's body temperature in the summer, it will still be about 37 degrees, as long as they are healthy. If we get too hot in the summer, our bodies will work hard to cool down automatically. Do you know how our amazing bodies accomplish this? That's right, by sweating. If you took a turtle's temperature in the summer, you might be surprised to discover that it's close to human body temperatures. Turtles love the summer. Warming their bodies up by basking lets a turtle get more done. It's like having a bicycle to do errands instead of having to walk. When turtles are warm, they can move much faster. Summer is actually the only season where a turtle has enough extra energy to grow. And if they are female, they might also be growing eggs. If a turtle gets too hot in the summertime, they need to change their environment, so they will jump into the water in order to cool their bodies down. By the fall, the weather outside has started to cool down. We begin to dress in warmer clothes. If we take a human's temperature in the fall, can you guess what it'll be? That's right, still 37 degrees Celsius, as long as they are healthy. Turtles start to slow down in the fall, and their body temperature will be cool again. They can't move as quickly to catch food on cool days, and they don't have any extra energy for growing. Around here, wintertime temperatures are usually below freezing. We bundle up nice and warm to go play outside. Even on very cold days, though, our core temperature will stay the same, as long as we are healthy. If we get too cold when we're outside, our body does something automatically to warm itself up. Any idea what that is? You got it. We start to shiver. In the wintertime, turtles hibernate. They dig down into the mud at the bottom of the pond and spend the whole winter there, buried in the muck. They don't move, they don't eat, their heart rate slows, and they barely breathe. Turtles have a special body part called a cloaca, which takes oxygen from the water. While hibernating in lake bottoms, turtles' body temperatures can get so low that they almost freeze. That sure doesn't sound like as much fun as sledding or snowball fights to me. So warm-blooded animals, like humans, have the same body temperature. No matter what the weather is, their bodies work hard to stay the same temperature and have different ways to cool down or warm up automatically. Cold-blooded animals have body temperatures that change with the weather or with their environment. And their body temperature can range from almost freezing to even warmer than the body temperature of humans. Turtles need to be warm enough to get things done. But what does a turtle really need to get done in a day?
Okay, we have a question to ask you here. What does a turtle need to get done in a day? Does it need to care for its young, hunt and find food, build a den, clean its house? You can let us know what you think. All right, I see people are letting us know what they think. What does a turtle need to do in a day? Care for its young, hunt and find food, build a den, or clean its house? Okay, we'll give you a few more moments to let us know what you think if you haven't already. We'll do 5 more seconds from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what you said. Okay, most people said hunt and find food, but few people said some of the other choices as well. I wonder what it is.
I will play the video again. Here we go.
Turtles need to be able to move quickly around their environment to find food. Many people think of turtles as being very slow creatures, but they can actually be quite fast and graceful in the water if they have done enough basking. When turtles are hungry, they can't just dive down to a turtle grocery store for a quick sandwich and an apple. Instead, they have to move around their environment to find their food. Turtles are omnivores. Do you know what that means?
Okay, and we're also going to see if you know what that means. What does omnivore mean? Well, I'll put up another question for you there to answer. What does omnivore mean? An animal that eats only meat, an animal that eats only plants, or an animal that eats both plants and animals? Okay, I see that people are making their choice of which one they think it is. Thanks for letting us know. We'll give it a few more moments for you to take a guess or say if you know what it is. All right, 5 more seconds from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what you said. All right, we mostly guessed an animal that eats both plants and animals. I think we might be right.
Definitely correct. Go.
An omnivore is an animal that eats both plants and other animals. Do you know what turtles like to eat? Some of Western painted turtles' favorite foods include aquatic plants, or plants that grow in the water, small fish and tadpoles, aquatic bugs like snails, and one of their very favorite is crustaceans, especially crayfish that lives in the ponds and lakes around here. Summer is the most important season for turtles. It's the only season where turtles have enough energy and food to grow. What do you think a turtle needs to grow big enough to do?
Okay, I wonder, what does a turtle need to do? What does a turtle want to grow big enough to do? Is it to swim faster, have a stronger shell, move to a bigger pond, or have babies? All right, I can see people are letting us know what they think. Which one do you think it is? What do turtles want to grow big enough to do? Swim faster, have a stronger shell, move to a bigger pond, or have babies? All right, I can see lots of people have made their choice. We'll give it just a few more moments for you to choose if you haven't already. Okay, 5 more seconds from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what you said. Okay, most people guessed have babies. I wonder if we were right.
That's right.
Just like all other animals, turtles want to grow big enough to have babies. Remember that a male turtle has very long claws? I told you it wasn't for fighting, and actually, the reason is to impress the females. If a male turtle likes a female, he will swim up to her and use his long claws to gently pet her cheek. If she likes him, she'll swim down to the bottom of the pond and he'll follow her, and they will mate. In about June, the female will be ready to lay her eggs. So, under the cover of darkness, she will climb up onto land and look for a south-facing gravelly slope to dig her eggs. The first thing she'll do when she finds the perfect place is to have a little pee. Ew, that might sound gross, but the reason that she does this is to soften the ground and make it easier for her to dig. Then she will use her back claws and dig a hole and lay her eggs. Usually she lays 6 to 12 eggs in a clutch. Clutch is the name for a group of eggs. Then she will cover up the eggs with her back legs. She'll use her beautifully colored plastron to pat down the earth. And then do you know what happens? She says, "Goodbye, babies. Good luck." She doesn't take them to soccer practice. She doesn't tuck them in at night. She just says, "So long, I hope I'll see you in the pond one day." And do you think that these eggs are very safe all on their own? Unfortunately not. Turtle eggs are about the size of a ping pong ball. And there are many creatures that think they make a delicious snack. Can you think of a few predators that might like to snack on some juicy turtle eggs?
So we don't have a poll question for this one, but if you have a guess on what types of predators might eat turtle eggs, you can type it into the chat box now. Just give a minute to see if anyone wants to guess. I see some guesses coming in. Now we are talking about Western painted turtles. So I'm looking for answers that would be around here. I should have specified here being in British Columbia. If you're coming in from somewhere else, then maybe you have crocodiles in your area or monitor lizards. But these animals would not eat Western painted turtle eggs around in BC. A fox, a wolf, definitely. Animals that can dig, so snakes and otters, yes. Skunks and badgers, definitely. Coyote. I'm seeing excellent guesses here. Yeah. Okay. So remember, animals that are going to eat turtle eggs will be animals that are able to dig. Holy moly, lots of great answers here. Wow, I'm going to continue the video.
So 9 out of 10 clutches or nests of turtle eggs are eaten by predators. But if a nest survives, the baby turtles will hatch in September or in the fall. And these little baby turtles will actually spend the whole winter long in their nest underground. The snow will fall, the ground will freeze, and even the baby turtles' bodies can freeze. If they survive all that, the next spring, when the snow melts and the ground thaws, it gets warm enough, these little baby turtles will dig their way out of their nest and run as fast as they can for the cover of the pond. This is also a dangerous time for the baby turtles. Can you think of a few animals that might like to eat a baby turtle once it's hatched?
So now these animals, these predators don't have to be.
The good news is,
these predators don't have to be diggers. So now we could have all the same predators that would still eat the baby turtles as would eat the eggs, but also I'm seeing a lot of birds in the chat box, and definitely, yeah, now we would have all the eagles or the hawks or the osprey or other birds of prey also. So it doesn't have to be an animal that digs to eat the baby turtles. Excellent. Wow, thanks everyone.
The good news is, if a baby turtle can survive the first year, it has a pretty good chance at a long life. Welcome to the turtle nursery. If you can believe it, the western painted turtle's favorite place to nest around here was once a parking lot. A long, long time ago, in the 1980s, scientists realized how important this area was for western painted turtles. And so they closed down the parking lot. Since then, western painted turtles have come onto land in this area and dug nests right around where I'm sitting now. Right up here in the gravel by the road, you can see an old turtle nest. This has either been dug up, or maybe the turtles hatched and made their way to the lake. You can see the eggshell right here. Thanks for watching this video. If you're inspired to help western painted turtles, there are a few things you could do. One is to always watch turtles from a distance. Give them space to bask. Remember, this is very important for turtles. You can use binoculars if you have them, and always move slowly to avoid scaring the turtles. If you have a dog, keep it on a leash when you're in the turtle territory. Help to protect wetland habitat. It is so important for so many animals. Only western painted turtles exist in BC naturally. If a pet turtle was released into the wild, it probably wouldn't survive, but it could also get native turtles sick. If you ever see a turtle in a BC park that looks different than these ones, you should try to get a photo and report it to the park staff right away. The last thing you can do to help turtles is to spread the word about how to protect them and why they're so important. Tell your friends and family about why you love turtles and why they need space. You might even make a poster to share.
All right. I'm going to turn my video on. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it, everyone. And I saw some fabulous questions come in. So I'm hoping it'll work, Christine, to do maybe 10 minutes of questions, and then I have one little wrap up special guest to see. So one question that I did answer in the video, but not until the very end, I didn't realize people are coming all the way from Vancouver and Victoria, and that's amazing. So there's only one species of turtle that lives anywhere in British Columbia, and that's the Western painted turtle. So if you saw a turtle in the wild, it would be a Western painted turtle. But it's important to note that in interior BC, so where I live, turtles are blue listed, so they're vulnerable. But closer to the coast, the Western painted turtles are actually endangered. So I just wanted to make sure that that we made that distinction. Okay, and then I don't know if you have if you wanted to do the questions, Christine.
Yeah, for sure. I was jotting the questions that I was seeing as they were coming in. So I'll pick a few to ask here. People are wondering, how do turtles swim?
Right. So there's different, and I'm seeing lots of questions about different types of turtles, right? So I just want to say I'm focused here on the Western painted turtle, which is a freshwater turtle. So they have webbed feet with claws, but they are very different from a sea turtle. So a sea turtle has flippers, but a freshwater turtle has webbed feet. So they are very great swimmers, and they just swim by, Western painted turtles are very good swimmers. They just swim with their webbed feet. Sea turtles are the experts in swimming though, and some sea turtles swim their whole lives. Yeah.
Wow. And actually, I think that connects well to another question that was asked about just, how many species of turtles live in BC?
Yeah, so only Western painted turtles live in BC. So there's one other type of turtle that we might see in BC, and that would be a red-eared slider. So that's the only type of turtle that might survive. And actually, if you see a red-eared slider, you would know, because instead of having a beautifully colored red plastron, it has little red spots on its ears. And these turtles are actually invasive. So they don't live in BC naturally, and it wouldn't be a good thing if you saw one, because they can actually take over important habitat and outcompete the painted turtles. Yeah.
Okay. And actually, that maybe connects to another question that came in so how do those red-eared slider turtles get there if they're not from here?
Excellent question. And this is the problem. I also I'm going to connect this with one other question that I noticed earlier on, which was someone asked if it was legal to have pet turtles in Canada. And it is allowed to have pet turtles in Canada. You are allowed to have pet turtles in Canada, but you are not allowed to take turtles from the wild. So it would be against the law to take a Western painted turtle from the wild. You could get in very big trouble. And it wouldn't be good for the turtle. Now, some people choose to have turtles as pets, and red-eared sliders are a popular pet. But freshwater turtles they don't live quite as long as sea turtles, but they can still live a very long time, like over 30 years, 30 to 50. And so some people might get a red-eared slider without realizing how big of a time commitment it is. And then so they kind of decide that they want to set their turtle free, their pet turtle free. And that's a big problem, because Like I mentioned, red-eared sliders can outcompete our native turtle species, but also they could have diseases. So they could also make the wild turtles sick. So this is not, if you know of anyone that has a pet turtle and they don't want it anymore, the appropriate thing to do would be to bring it back to a pet store or to a turtle center. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Alex. You answered my next question too, so I'll look for another one here.
Oh, I see someone asked, what does invasive mean?
Good question.
It's an excellent question. And so invasive can be any plant or animal that when in a certain ecosystem or habitat can take over. Okay, and usually an invasive species would be something that was not from the area.
And I see there's an interesting question here about somebody asking, are scientists or the government doing anything to help endangered turtles? The question is about, do they have a program to help the turtles breed in places where they're endangered? That's their specific question, but I wonder, is there anything else as well?
Yeah, well, that is an excellent question. And I don't know, I do not believe, but I'm not totally certain. I don't believe that there is any sort of breeding program, or there isn't one that I know of, that I'm familiar with. Now, since I'm in the interior of British Columbia, I'm not as familiar with what's going on the coast. So that would be something that I would have to research more to actually answer that question well. It's an excellent question. And in the meantime, I'll say that the government does have rules to protect turtles. So it's actually, and especially in parks, in BC parks. So it's actually against the law to disturb or harass turtles in BC because they're listed. So either blue listed, which means vulnerable or at risk, or red listed on the coast, which means endangered.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see what other questions we have here. Oh, so people were wondering, do turtles make any sounds?
I saw that question. What an excellent question. I'm so glad you asked that. So this is very interesting because for a long time, scientists didn't know, or they didn't study this question. But now they're realizing, as this is getting studied, they're realizing that actually turtles make several different sounds. Yeah. So they make sounds to communicate. They make sounds while they're during courtship and mating. And it's also an area where scientists don't have a lot of information. So it's just starting to be studied. So whoever asked that, I'd say you have the makings of being a scientist. It's a great question. Mm-hmm.
Okay. People are wondering, how hard is a turtle shell, and are baby turtle shells also hard when they're baby turtles?
Oh, such a good question. So how hard a turtle's shell is depends on the species of turtle. And then I also, but this is one shell that I have. Ooh. And you can feel it's very hard, but it's not, oh, sorry, it's hard to see. There we go. It's very hard. It's as hard as bone. So it is bone. It's a turtle's skeleton, but it's not unbreakable. So some predators of turtles could still smash open their shell, although it's a pretty good armor. But baby turtles have much softer shells. And maybe this is a good time to show that quick video I was telling you about, Christine. I just have a really short video, which is because one of my very favorite facts about the Western painted turtle is that the babies spend their whole first winter on land inside their nest under the ground. So I am going to just pause my pause my video here for a sec and share this video with you. It's one of my favorite people talking here, David Attenborough.
A baby North American painted turtle. It and the rest of its clutch have only just hatched. But it's late in the year and the chill of winter has already begun. If the hatchlings clambered out of their hole now, they would find nothing to eat, so they stay where they are. The temperature will fall to -10 degrees. Ice crystals grow around the babies and even inside their bodies, but their tissues are protected by a kind of antifreeze. This would kill any mammal or bird. They remain in this deep freeze for up to 6 months. Spring comes at last. The ice melts around them and eventually within them. Slowly, they begin to come to life. It takes quite a time for them to become fully functional, but eventually they're ready to face the outside world. So, by allowing their bodies to cool, they have avoided the hard times. With the arrival of spring, their parents are now preparing to breed again. The male caught the female by gently strumming her cheeks with his long claws.
All right, I'm just gonna stop that there. Isn't that amazing? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I also sent well, we will be sending out the link to that video tomorrow for anyone who would like to see it again. And then I saw one question, Christine, about do turtles breathe underwater? And I would love to answer that one quickly before I introduce you my little buddy. So turtles breathe oxygen. So they breathe oxygen. In the spring, summer, and fall, they breathe at the surface. So they breathe oxygen like we do. But in the wintertime, when they're hibernating, they actually take oxygen. They hardly breathe, first of all. So they breathe very, very little when they're in hibernation. But they actually breathe through a special part of their body called a cloaca. And I don't know if anyone's seen Frozen 2, but Olaf shares a fun fact. And his fun fact is that turtles breathe through their butts. And he's not totally right, but he's also not totally wrong, because the cloaca is located at the underneath of a turtle's tail, so very close to its bum. And that is how turtles get dissolved oxygen out of the water. I saw someone ask, how long do baby turtles stay with their mom? They don't. She lays the eggs, she covers the eggs, and she says, sayonara, babies. She doesn't pack school lunches. She doesn't tuck them in at night. She just says, good luck.
And then do the baby turtles go find their mom, or do they just never find her?
I mean, who knows? Who
Right.
knows, Christine? Maybe they do, and maybe they talk to her in the pond afterwards and they say, Mom, we made it. But as far as scientists know currently, they don't necessarily even know. But scientists don't know everything yet, right?
Right. I also saw an interesting question come in that I wondered about, because there's also Western painted turtles in my area here in Creston.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a turtle on the road, should you pick it up and move it?
This is a great question. Now, my answer is that it depends. Okay? So the best thing to do, if you have the time, would be to stop and to kind of like protect the turtle. So with an adult, obviously not on your own, but to just kind of stop, get other vehicles to stop, let the turtle cross on its own. If this isn't possible, then you could pick up the turtle and keep it in the same direction and move it across the road. But that is not ideal because, well, first of all, it's not good to touch turtles, but also it will probably scare the turtle. If you see a turtle in the springtime out and trying to cross the road, chances are it's looking for a place to nest. Now, if it gets disturbed or scared during this time, it'll just not nest right then. It'll just hold the eggs in for a little longer until it's not feeling threatened. So I'm sorry that that's not a clear yes or no answer. The best thing to do would be to leave the turtle alone, not touch it. If it's in a really dangerous position, then obviously it's better that the turtle live than not. So it's a tricky question to answer.
Yeah, but I think that makes sense to me. Like, if you can, just let the turtle cross safely. But if the turtle's really in danger, you can help it. But it's better to let it get to safety on its own.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
Yes, exactly. So I do have someone that wanted to come and meet you and say thanks. Now, this is my buddy, my teaching assistant, Sheldon. He's very shy, like other turtles, but usually it helps if I tell a joke. Sheldon, here's my joke. What do you call a turtle that takes a picture of itself? Anyone have any guesses? What do you call it when a turtle takes a picture of itself? What do you call it when a turtle takes a picture of itself? Oh,
I'm not sure. I wonder if anyone has a guess that they want to put in the chat. Oh, I see some guesses.
Oh, do you? There we go. Oh, they got it. It's a shelfie. Yeah, good one. All right. So Sheldon, you came all the way from the pond today and you wanted to share something with the students. Yeah, go ahead and say it. Oh, he's shy. You want to whisper in my ear, Sheldon? Okay, whisper in my ear. Oh, you can't see him whispering in my ear. Oh, yeah, okay. So, first of all, Sheldon would like to say thank you very much for taking the time to learn more about Western painted turtles. He really appreciates it. And he wanted to ask, do you know why it's important to give turtles space and to not try to touch them or catch them? I'll give you a second. See if anyone has an answer. Do you know why it's important not to touch a turtle and to give it space? Also, they don't get scared. That's a good thing. Yeah, because if we disturb turtles, especially when they're basking, then they'll stop basking. They'll swim away in the water. But if they're swimming away, if they're scared, then they're not basking. And if they're not basking, they're not filling up, getting warm. they're not getting enough energy, and they might not be able to find enough food. So remember, turtles they only have like 2 seasons that they can really get some good basking in and get enough energy to grow. So Sheldon really appreciates it if everyone gives him space and looks at him from afar. Right, Sheldon? But he wanted to share one other thing about why it's important not to touch turtles, and that's for our safety. So turtles have a bacteria in their bodies called salmonella. You might have heard of it, and it's fine for turtles. It doesn't hurt them at all, but it's actually can be very dangerous for humans. So when a turtle goes to the bathroom, which is in its lakes, where it lives, right? Then the salmonella can get in the water, it can coat the turtle's shell. And so if you touch a turtle, you might be exposed to that bacteria and it could make you very sick. So trying to touch turtles or get too close to them is not good for us and not good for turtles. So Sheldon wants to say, salmonella can kill you. It can be deadly. It's usually not, but it's a pretty serious bacteria. So Sheldon wants to say, thanks again so much for taking the time out of your day to learn more about Western painted turtles. Okay, bye Sheldon. You got to get back to the pond. Oh, he's off.
That was really nice of Sheldon to visit.
I know, he's such a great buddy of mine. Yeah. All right, well, I think that is pretty much it for the time. I want to say thanks so much to everyone again for coming out, and also that Christine and I will be sharing a few little activities or places to learn more about the Western painted turtle. And the best thing that I think you could do is to spread awareness. So the best thing for me, that I would ask for you to do is to share with other people why turtles are amazing creatures, why you love them, and how it's so important that we give them space. And by that I mean not getting too close, but also by protecting their homes, which are wetlands. So a lot of wetlands are getting covered over and filled in, and this is really bad for turtles. So thanks for being turtle lovers, and I know that you will all do great things. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ayla, for all the information today, and for bringing the footage of the turtles out at Kikumi Creek Park, and for all the things that I know I learned lots today. Thanks for teaching us so much. I shared in the chat, because you can send things to us and I can also send things to all of you. I've shared the resources that Ayla prepared for us for you to look at after. The video that from the BBC is there, as well as some resources to look at after, and some thoughts on how you can help turtles, and then a couple of templates for if you want to make a poster about turtles. So they're in the chat if you wanted to click on those links right now because you wanted to use them today. They'll also be sent to you in an email tomorrow with the email that you registered with. So if you forgot to click on the links, or you click on them but then you lose them later, they will also be sent to you tomorrow in an email.
Awesome.
Okay.
And I think, Christine, that one teacher asked if this link would be provided to share with the other side of the class, and the other half of the class. And I believe it is being recorded, so this will be available. Is that right?
That is right. So the recording for this session, as well as the recordings for the other sessions that have already happened, are all also available on cbeen.ca/wildvoicesonline. The sessions that are coming up are on the top of the page, but if you scroll down a little further, you'll see that all of the past sessions are up, and there's now a link instead to register. There's a link to go watch the recording. So they're all there, and this one will be up by the end of today.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Christine. And thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, everyone. Bye.